there, it's Veronica Pullen from veronicapullen.co.uk, and in this video I want to talk to you about the 5 costly Facebook advertising mistakes that I see small business owners making every single day, so that you know what they are and that you can avoid them in your own advertising. So, mistake number 1 is choosing to target an audience that is too big and therefore too broad. So, what do I mean by that? Okay, so if you are a gardening supplies company, you might decide to set up an ad and target, for example, homeowners, because on the assumption that people who own a home own a garden. But just because somebody owns a home, so that audience is going to be quite significant in size, probably maybe 1 million, maybe 1.5 million, 2 million, once you've added in your area and age ranges. But the problem is, somebody that owns a home with a garden, doesn't necessarily follow that they're interested in gardening. I have a garden, but I don't have any interest in gardening. Our gardener does the gardening, that's his passion and not mine. So, instead of targeting a very broad interest like that to create a huge audience, instead niche down to the audience that indicate that collectively this targeted audience would be interested in what you do. So if you're selling gardening supplies, you want people who are interested in gardening. Now, instead of choosing homeowners, choose Gardener's World, for example, because Gardener's World, as you know, is a magazine, a TV programme, and collectively the people who are interested in Gardener's World are interested in gardening. And when you do that, your click-through rate will increase, because obviously more of that audience will be interested in what you're offering, and your conversions will increase because more of that audience will be interested in what you're offering. Rather than throwing a ton of spaghetti at a huge wall, throw it in the small area that indicates that they're your audience. Now, aim for an audience size of around 100,000 or less, because if you go too broad, then you've gone way away from specific targeting. The nice 100,000 audience means that you've got very specific with your targeting, and therefore the cost of advertising and the results that you get from advertising, the cost will be lower and the result will be higher. Okay, mistake number 2 is not optimizing for the placement that you put your ads into. Now, when you set up your ad, you have to choose where you want it to place, and you've got desktop newsfeed, mobile newsfeed, audience network, right hand side of Facebook on desktop, and Instagram. Now, your ad should look like it's been created for that placement. Now, audience network, if you choose audience network placement, what that does is it places ads inside third-party websites and apps, such as in the middle of an article on the Daily Mirror website, which is what's going on the right hand side here. Now, as you scroll through reading that article, there's a high chance that you'll accidentally click on that ad, and I do that so many times in one day. But you'll also notice, and so consequently for you, you're paying for a ton of accidental clicks from people who have no interest in what you're advertising. The other issue is that the ad has been crafted for newsfeed, because when you set up your ad, on the right hand side you can see a preview of how that ad will look, and the default option is desktop newsfeed, and that is the preview that most people look at when they're crafting their ad. However, audience network has smaller allowances, less characters available, which means that if you look at this ad on the right here, it doesn't fit the space. You lose context of the ad because it doesn't fit the space that it's been placed in. With Instagram, if you're placing your ads on Instagram, a post created for a newsfeed has got way too much text for an Instagram native post. Instagram native posts are focused around the image and they have minimal text and they use hashtags. Okay, so make sure you always uncheck the placement for audience network, but when you craft your ad, make sure that you craft it for the placement that you want it to go into. So if you're going in desktop or mobile newsfeed, it's quite straightforward. But if you want to put it on Instagram, create a separate ad in a separate ad set for Instagram. I'll make it look like an Instagram post. So the placements are set in the ad sets area of Ads Manager. Now you can go there and determine where you place your ad. Right, mistake number 3 is trying to sell to a cold audience, and this is a really popular mistake. Popular as in loads of small business owners are doing this. Now, a cold audience don't know you. Collectively, they don't know who you are, what you do, and they have no prior relationship with you. A warm audience is somebody who knows you, who has a relationship with you. Now, if you are using interest targeting, so just like we did just now when we targeted Gardener's World, when we put an ad in front of people who are interested in Gardener's World, that's a cold audience, because collectively, you might get the odd 1 or 2 people in there who know who you are, but collectively that audience has no idea who you are and has no relationship with you. Your warm audience are people who have taken an action to indicate interest in what you do. They've visited a sales page, or any page in fact on your website. They've read a blog post, they've watched a video, they've opted in for your freebies, they've joined your email list. They've taken an action, they've put their hand up and said, yeah, I am interested in what this person, what this brand, what this company does. I'm more interested than someone who had just seen the ad and taken none of those actions. Now, another mistake that people make is to believe or assume that people who have liked their Facebook page are a warm audience, and they are not. Because it's very easy to click on the like button on Facebook, and if you've ever participated in like ladders, you know, where you say, I'll like your page if you come and like mine, you've got people in there who have zero interest in actually buying from you. So if you put your ad in front of your page likers and assume that they are ready to buy, that could cost you. If you do that a lot, it could cost you a lot of money. They are only warm if they have taken an additional action, like visited your website, read a blog, watched a video, opted in, to indicate that they are interested in you. Otherwise, treat your page fans as if they were a cold audience. Okay? Right, so when you try and sell to a cold audience, you're trying to get married before you've even had your first date. And we know how well that goes in the real life, right? So if you're targeting your ad to a cold audience, promote something that is free. The most effective way of using Facebook advertising is to promote something that is free to access, first of all, to your cold audience, which might be your freebie opt-in incentive, your lead magnet, a PDF guide or a VIP club or something that they can access by opting in, by giving you their name and email address to get it. A free course, it might be a 5-day challenge or a 5-day trial or something. It could be content, it might be a blog post or a video like this one. And then, behind the free content, the value up front, behind the free content, you can either promote your paid offer as the next step, or the next step behind the free content could be to opt in, to get something of value to your audience in exchange for their email address. So it can either be the paid offer as step 2, or it could be the opt-in as step 2, depending on whether, if you promote the opt-in at step 1, then the paid offer will be step 2. If you promote the content at step 1, the opt-in would be step 2, and the paid offer would be step 3. Make sense so far? Now, what you're doing here is that you're going out to your cold audience and gathering your warm audience, who you can then follow up with. And that brings us on to mistake number 4, which is not using remarketing to follow up. The mistake is to see each ad as one single, as serving the whole objective. Just one ad, just one type of ad will bring you all the clients that you could ever hope for. Wrong. Now, it's not their job to remember to buy, it's your job to remind them. So we've shown them an ad for a freebie, and then we can promote the paid offer behind that. So what you do is you create a remarketing audience for every page or group of pages on your website. Now, it might be, if you've got an opt-in page, what they call a squeeze page, where people go, where you promote your freebie and then you have a form that they fill in to access it, you'd have a remarketing audience for every one of those that you have, every one of those pages that you have on your site. If you've got, you'd have a remarketing audience for your entire website. And if you've got blogs, for example, that all talk about the same topic, then you might group them together as one remarketing audience. So if you've got 10 blog posts that all talk about widget A, you might group all 10 pages together as 10 blog posts together as one remarketing audience. Because people who have read a blog about widget A have put their hand up to tell you that they are interested in widget A, and then it's your job, it's not their job to remember that they read your blog post 3 months ago. It's your job to remind them that they read your blog post 3 months ago and they can buy widget A from your website. Alright? And we do that with remarketing. Now, here's one example of remarketing. So the first ad promotes the blog about widget A, this blog we just talked about. So you go, hey, five costly Facebook ad mistakes that small business owners are making. It's a widget A equivalent of that. And you promote that to people interested in widgets, which is your cold audience. So I could promote this video to people who are interested in online advertising, for example, Facebook advertising. I could promote it to business famous Facebook advertising expert, people who have indicated interest in them. Then that ad sends people to read that blog post on your website, and at the end of the blog is the call to action to either purchase widget A from your website or opt in for your handy guide to buying widgets guide PDF. Right? So depending on what you promoted on the front, step 1 or step 2 would be the opt-in, or step 2 would be the opt-in or the sale, depending on what step 1 was. Alright? Then you're creating audiences along the line who are telling you what they are interested in, so that you can use remarketing to promote what they are interested in only to them, which means that your conversions will be higher because you're showing the people who have told you that they want something, you're showing them what they want. Right? Number 2 could be you promote widget A, to buy widget A to people who read the blog post and or visited the sales page for widget A, product page, whatever, and or who have read other pages or blogs about widget A or widgets in general on your site. And then you can exclude people who have already bought widget A. Now that's your warm audience. So can you imagine, can you see how if you promote you can buy widget A to this audience, how the conversions would be higher than just going straight out to promote widget A to people who have indicated an interest somewhere or other somehow in widget. You ask them to indicate interest in you first, and then you promote on the back end, so you're a warm audience. And then you send the ad clickers to buy the widget from your website. Now, mistake number 5 is to buy one outcome and expect another. Now, what I mean by this is when you set up your ad, you have to choose the objective for your campaign. And this is the screen that you'll see where you'll make your choices. Now, if you look along the top, it's telling you, Facebook are telling you in the headers what these campaign objectives will deliver: awareness, consideration, or conversion. Now, the mistake is to use an ad, to use a campaign objective such as boost your post or send people to your website and hope and expect conversions. It's not how it is. Now, there is a place in every strategy for each of these ad objectives, but the mistake is not choosing the wrong ad objective per se. It's not understanding what you're buying when you choose your ad objective. And not understanding that you are buying an awareness objective when you boost the post, but then expecting and feeling disheartened and demotivated when you don't get people buying because you haven't bought conversions, you bought awareness. Does that make sense? So if you boost posts, if you have an ad that boosts the post, whether you do it via Ads Manager or the button on the business page, you are paying Facebook to give you likes and comments. You're not paying for leads, for leads or sales. If you pay to get video views, you are paying for views. That is, I'm scrolling through my news feed, I've seen your video, but I haven't watched it. You're paying for me to see it, you're not paying for me to watch it. Yeah? As long as you understand that, as long as you understand what you are buying, the mistake is not understanding what you're buying. It's not necessarily the choice that you make. Now, the only campaign objectives that actually promise conversions or offer conversions are those under the conversions header, e.g. increase conversions on your website, conversions being opt-ins or sales. Okay, if you can tell Facebook to show your ad to people who are most likely to buy or opt in by using the increased conversion on your website campaign objective. Excuse me. Now, to do that involves a little bit more work, not a significant amount of work, but it's not as easy as quick as just going website, click or boost post. But then what gets the best results isn't the easiest thing. So if you want more opt-ins and you want more people buying from your ads, choose an ad campaign that promises conversions and do the work involved to do that, to be able to use that objective. Now, I teach you how to do that. I teach you how to get started today, but it's not a very long job with website conversions, and how to use remarketing to follow up with your warm audience so you can increase sales. I teach you all of that step by step in my free 15-minute guide to pixels, audiences and conversions ebook. So if you head over to veronicapullen.co.uk/FBAds-ebooks now, go and grab that ebook and follow the steps in the ebook, and you'll be able to today create an ad campaign that is optimized for conversions and set up your remarketing ad campaign to follow up with people who have already indicated an interest in what you do, and remind them that you exist, remind them that they can buy, remind them, show them some new content to nurture their relationship. You can do so much with remarketing, and I'll teach you how to do that step by step in this free guide, along with the simple little tweaks that you need to make in order to be able to use optimize for conversion ad campaign objective. So go to veronicapullen.co.uk/FBAds-ebook, grab that ebook now and get started. Alright, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.